everyone, welcome back to ShivCore C++ Masterclass. I am Shivansh Verma, and if you watched episode 1, you have already learned the fundamentals of C++ and written your very first program. But here's the question: what's the point of a program if it can't make decisions? Imagine an ATM that gives money to everyone, or a game where you always win. Sound ridiculous, right? That's exactly what we are going to fix today. In this episode, you will learn about C++ data types and decision making statements like if else if, nested if, and switch case. The building block behind almost every real world application. So grab your code editor, stay till the end because we will build multiple practical programs together and let's get started. So, variable stores data. How does the computer know what type of data it is storing? Like for example, a number 25. But how do computer know that this number 25 is an integer? Because we have to declare it. And that's where the picture comes in. Understand it like an example. A water bottle stores liquid. Objects are stored in a box. Paper are stored in a document folder. Similarly, number 25 is stored as integer. 3.14 or any float number which includes point in it can be stored in float. A letter is stored as a character, and the value true or false is stored as a boolean. It's a little new information, you will get to it. Just like different container stores different objects, different data store types stores different kind of information. Quick revision. Variables. Hashtag include iostream int main int age is equal to 18. The variable is age and the value stored is 18. Simple. The variable age is printed in the next line as cout age. Variable is stored as data. Data is stored in memory and cout prints the stored value. So what's the difference between declaration and initialization? Similarly, if a variable int age is written, means it is just declared. It has not been given any value to it, means it is like an empty container. There is nothing stored in it, but it is specified like it is a container only. Similarly, if I say int age is equal to 18 or any number, which means that number is stored in age 18, and that's when a variable is initialized. So what's the better way? You always initialize your variables whenever possible because it helps prevent unexpected behavior and makes your program more reliable. How the computer stores data. When the user writes int age is equal to 18, marks is equal to 95, and so on, the memory stores it in a container. Memory stores it with the value of that variable in a single line. Because each of the type of it requires a data type to be declared for. So there are three categories of data types. First one is primitive data types. Basic built-in data types provided by C++. Second one, derived data types, created using primitive data types. And the third one, User-defined data types created by programmers to represent custom data. Now let's understand each category one by one. Firstly, primitive data types. These are the basic built-in data types provided by C++. They are used to store fundamental kinds of data. It includes integer as int, float as float, double, character as char, boolean as bool, void as void, and vchar underscore t. Every complex data type in C++ is ultimately built upon these primitive data types. Each and every. Understand it. Next, derived data types. Derived data types are formed by combining or extending primitive data types to solve more complex programming problems. Examples, like there are four categories: arrays, functions, pointers, references. We will learn each of them in detail in upcoming episodes. User-defined data types. Structure known as struct, class, union, enumeration known as enum, type alias as typedef. Structure is used to combine group related things into a single variable under one name. Class bundles data and functions together. Union shares memory among multiple members. Enumeration defines named integer constants. Type alias creates shorthand names for types. These data types help us model real world objects and organize information efficiently. Next, primitive data type. First one, integer, also int. In the main.cpp, we have written int age is equal to 18, int marks is equal to 95, int population is equal to 1,50,000. The RAM stores the variable with that integer value because typically size of int is 4 bytes and this value is stored as integer there in the memory. Even if I have written int age is equal to 18.2, but in the memory, because it is known that it is an integer value, it will take it as 18 only. So integer, this does not share decimal values as I explained you, and it is commonly used for counting and indexing. You always use int whenever the value has no decimal part. Next, float. Like the example, float temperature is equal to 36.5, price is equal to 99.99, percentage is equal to 87.5. Here you can understand that after decimal there are some numbers, and whenever there are some numbers after the decimal, we always use float. We can also use double if the quantity of numbers after the decimal is more. That also you will understand ahead in the series. So temperature is equal to 36.5. So these stores decimal floating point in the memory. Float uses less memory than double. It's a good thing to note. It is somewhere useful also. Float is suitable when very high precision is not required. And whenever you need decimal values, float is one of your options. Primitive data type, double. Simply you can understand. Float data type acquires 4 bytes of storage, whereas double stores 8 bytes of storage. Similarly, float float has lower precision, whereas double has higher precision, which means whenever you use double, the variable name, and when you assign it the value, you can continue to vary so many values after the decimal point. Like you can understand from main.cpp, double pi is equal to 3 point and so on. And that's when double is required. Similarly, the difference is below. Best use, float is of general decimal and double is used in scientific and accurate calculations. Next, primitive data type. Char. Char grade A. Char gender. Char symbol $. So this simply means that in the main.cpp, whenever we want to assign a variable, it simply means whenever we want to assign a character, a letter. Similarly, mostly a character includes letter also and symbols also. So we use char. You can see the examples: ABC, $, hashtag, anything. So char stores a single character. Characters are enclosed in a single quote. Like here, this is an important thing to note. A is a string. And when A is in single quotes, it is a character. So the common mistake people do is that they use double quotes in A. No, that's a string. If you want a char to be assigned, then you have to use single quotes for that value. Moving on next, primitive data type bool. Bool means boolean and it simply outputs in true and false only. If it's given bool is logged in is equal to true. If it is logged in is equal to true, then it will be ticked. You understand? You can only give value as true and false for a variable when it is assigned as bool. There is no other thing. One more thing you have to understand, that true is also counted as 1. So understand, whenever 1 is written anywhere, it means true, and when 0 is written there, it means false for boolean values. Next, moving on, void. Void simply represents no data or no return value. Understand? So void are commonly used with functions that perform an action but don't return anything. It does not store values like int or float. Here you can see as here void display message. See out welcome to ShivCore, which means this message will be displayed. But void is just representing a null or not a null but empty functions. Think of void as saying the function performs a task but doesn't give anything back. We will study function in detail in a dedicated episode coming ahead. You have to follow, subscribe and keep watching my series. We upload videos every day for this series. Don't forget to like and watch it. Thank you. And any doubt you have, you can type in comments and I will explain you. Primitive data type wchar_t stores wide Unicode characters. Like all the characters, there are loads of characters, so they are stored under wchar underscore t. Useful when you work with multiple languages. Modern C++ often uses Unicode library, but vchar underscore t is still a part of this language. Quick comparison with all primitive data types. Int stores whole number, float stores decimal numbers, double stores high precision decimals, char stores single character, bool stores true or false value, word stores no value, wchar underscore t stores wide character. Typical size of int is 4 byte, float is 4 byte, double is 8 byte, char is 1 byte, bool is 1 byte, word is null, so no typical size of it. And wchar t is dependent on the system. Examples are here as follows. Memory sizes are common value and may vary depending on compiler and platform. So you must remember this. All this PPT is pinned in comment alongside useful resources. Do try to check it out. Which data type should you choose? All of the resources are in the pinned comment. Do check it out. Which data type should you choose? But the question should be, what data type do I want to store data in? Simply, when I need to store a whole number, I will use int. When I need to store a decimal number, I will use float or double. When I need to use single character, I use char. If the value should be true or false, I will use bool. If no return value is expected, then I use void. And for Unicode character, I select wchar underscore t. Here are some real world examples. Like age. Age can't be in decimal. Either you are 5, either you are 15, either you are 16. Age is simply can be stored in int. Whereas grade, someone can have 95%, someone get A grade, 95 means A plus grade. So grade is stored in A, B, C, D. I prefer you to not take the E. So that grade can be stored as char. Similarly, a temperature like 102.5 Celsius. Similarly, this data should be stored in float only. When a login status, let's say you open a website, you try to log in it through a Google. Either you log in or you don't log in. Means if you log in to that website, the system updates as true. If you don't, either you failed in that, then the system updates it as false. So in that case, you use bool. Similarly for a pi, you know pi is a very long number. It doesn't add very long number. So pi can be stored as a double. And wchar underscore t, like any character, any Unicode character, any Chinese language, Hindi language, English language, it is stored in wchar underscore t. Choosing the correct data type makes your program efficient, readable, and easier to maintain. Next, let's practice. Which data type would you use to store? Student age. Tell the answer. I am waiting for 5. The answer is int. Second question, student percentage. And the answer is float. Whether student is passed or failed. Simply, the answer is Boolean. The first letter of a student's name. And the answer is character, char. So it's very necessary to understand when to use a data type is more important than memorizing its definition. See, we are directly working on practical implementation. We need to code. There is no need to learn theory much. This is the I will use very less PPTs after this episode, 1-2 episodes. So then next we will work on practical implementations like VS Code, and we will code throughout. So first type of data type is covered. Next, derived data type. Like arrays, functions, pointers, references. Derived data types are created using the basic data types you have already learned. So now, moving on to the first one, arrays. Array stores multiple values in a single variable. Like int marks square bracket 5. 5 means allocated numbers. Allocated list will be of 5, but 5 values. So first 90, 85, 95, 88, 92. So these are all 5 values that are stored in the array. One thing to remember is here in indexing of the value, the first one is stored as 0th index, while the second one is stored as first, and so on. While in the negative indexing, the last one is -1, not -0, and the second last is -2. So instead of creating 5 variables, one array can store them all. The benefit of it is stores multiple values of the same data type. Elements are stored consequently in memory. Useful for lists like marks, prices, stores, and temperatures. Next, functions like void, greet, square bracket, and in the curly bracket. Don't understand like function is only made in void only. You can also use int greet and make a function there. So functions are reusable blocks of code that performs specific task. Function works on simple workflow. Input goes to function and function gives the output. Think of function as a machine. You give it work and it performs a task. Function divides large programs into smaller reusable blocks. They reduce repetition and they make program easier to understand and maintain. Next, derived data type, pointers. Variables that store memory address. Int age is equal to 18 and the pointer int star ptr is equal to end of age, which means the ptr valued pointer is named pointer stores the address of variable age. A pointer stores the address of another variable. It is useful for memory management and extremely powerful but requires careful usage. Pointers don't store data, they store the location of data. One of the most powerful features of C++ awaits in a future episode. So do not quit here. Just the next episode. After that we will level up very high. Derived data type, references. Int age is equal to 18, int and student age is equal to age. Age is an alias for an existing variable. It is a reference is another name for an existing variable. Both name refers to the same memory location. Int age also refers to the value 18 and the variable Age also refers to the same, but this is used as references because it doesn't straightforwardly uses that value. It uses age to use its value. So you have to understand this. We will understand it more in the upcoming episode. Now user defined data types are done. Basic data type stores single value. User defined data types allow us to group related information together, like student, and inside student we have name also and roll number also. So this is a better example for that. Struct student. Struct means structure. Structure allows you to combine multiple string in a single card, which means string name, int age, float marks are stored in single structure named student. It groups different data types together, represent real world entities, and makes program more organized. User defined data type class. Student object like data, name, age are directly stored in the public inside the class. Classes are foundation of object-oriented programming, can contain both data and functions used in real-world software development. Classes help us build large, organized and reusable programs. We will master object-oriented programming in upcoming section of this course. Union also uses all members and shares the same memory locations. We will understand it more ahead. Enumeration and type alias. Two features that improve code clarity and maintainability. Enum represents a fixed set of named constant. It improves readability, while alias creates another name for an existing data type, makes code easier to understand. These features improve code reliability and maintainability, especially in large projects, and these are very useful to us. So complete hierarchy of C++ data type, primitive, derived, user defined, and all their varieties. Every data type in C++ belongs to one of these three major categories. So do not forget to access this PDF in the pinned comment, and it is also available in description of the video. And do not forget to check out our website, that's also in our description. Now choosing the right data type. So combining data type to represent real world information. These are all the examples you can see for what value, what type of variable and is stored. Identifiers in C++. If every variable stores data, how does the computer know which variable you are referring to? And that's where identifier comes into the picture. If every variable stores data, how does the computer know which variable you are referring to? So, age 18 is an identifier. Past 95 is a past true is an identifier. Marks 95 is identifier. How identifiers work? An identifier is the name given to a variable, function, class or other program element. Identifiers help the compiler distinguish one item from another. Meaningful identifier improve code readability. Think of identifier as the name written on a storage box. Rules for writing identifier very important. Age, these all at the left side are valid identifiers and at the right side are invalid. But why are they so? Because identifier rule says that it should contain letters, digits and underscores. It cannot begin with a digit, no spaces or special characters. Cannot use reserved keywords and use only meaningful names. Here in 2 marks starts with a digit. It cannot begin with a digit, that's why it is invalid. Contains hyphen. There should be no special character. Only underscore is allowed. Reserved keyword int. It is reserved as an int is an integer, so it cannot be identifier. Total marks contains a space. No space should be allowed. And at the rate price again contains special character. So, writing professional identifiers, choosing a naming convention and stick with it consistently. Camel case, Pascal case, snake case. These are varieties in which we name variables. Camel case, which means first part of the letter is with small and the second part of the letter is with marks and which is in capital word. Student marks. In Pascal case both are in capital and in snake case both are as small. For this course we will use camel case as primary because it's widely used in modern C++ projects and industry code bases. Similarly, keywords in C++. Why can't we use int or class as variable name? Valid question. But the answer is that's why they are keywords. They are reserved words that are stored in C++. All of them and many more are keywords. So we can't use them as variable. Think of them like a reserved word in dictionary. You cannot change their meaning. Comments in C++. Very important when you make projects, so you can make comment to understand later that what is for what. Like in single double slash, you use double slash to display single line comment and use slash and asterisk and slash for multi-line comment. Why should we write comments? Because they improve readability, help team collaboration, make debugging easier, and they are useful for future maintenance. Like see these examples here. Without comment there are no comments, so difficult to understand. But at the right side I have written sum of all student marks, so it's easier to understand that whenever I will see this message and understand that below code is for sum of all student marks. Constant using const. Const float pi is equal to 3.14. Constant. Const is like lock. Once you first lock it, you cannot unlock it. Its value remains fixed and after initialization, you cannot alter it. You cannot change it. It's improved program safety and makes code easier to understand. You use const whenever a value should never change during program execution. Const versus hashtag define. Const is int max is equal to 100 and hashtag define as hashtag define max 100. What's the difference? Hashtag define is a preprocessor and it replaces text before compilation. It uses no data type and it's common in older C and C++ code. Whereas const is type safe, preferred in modern C++, and compiler understand its types. Feature of const: it's type safe, modern C++ is used, checked by compiler, and it has global scope. Whereas hashtag define is of limited use and not much used in modern C++. So, local variables. As you listen, global and local. Local variables, can every variable be used everywhere in program? No. Here int age is done inside int main, so it is a local variable. Age variable is already only in int main. If I print it outside the int main, output won't come because age value is there only inside int main. So this is of local scope. It is a local variable. So they are accessible only within this block and they are destroyed when the block ends. Whereas global variable hashtag include and int age is equal to 18 is written outside the int main, which means when the program runs, age 18 is outside all of the functions. So it is global variable and it can be accessed anywhere throughout the program. Here you can see difference. Local is inside a block, global is outside all function. Local has limited access, global is accessible everywhere. Local is temporary and global lives throughout the program. Prefer local variable whenever possible, but use global variable only when genuinely required. Why do programs need decision making? ATM machine, if balance is sufficient, it dispenses cash. If light is green, then you can go. If password is correct, you can log in. And if age is greater than 18, then you are eligible to vote. Every intelligent program makes decision based on conditions. And date where we use condition statements. Example condition: age is greater than 18, marks are greater than 40, password is equal to admin. So if these are true, then we will proceed further. That means these are conditions, and that's you can relational operators in C++: greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, double equal to, not equal to. So here are their examples. In the right side you can see the result panel where there is written 10 is greater than 5, and we know 10 is greater than 5, then the output will be true. Is 3 is equal, double is equal to 8. Double is equal to mean that the value is equal to, and the data type also is equal to the value which is on the opposite side. So 3 is not equal to 8, then definitely the answer will be false. One warning I would tell to you is don't confuse equal to with double equal to operator, because this is the most common mistake beginners may take. They both are different. So logical operators in C++. What if we need to check more than one condition? Age is greater than equal to 18 and has license, then the person can drive. And where the word and comes, we use double and sign here, this, and it returns true only if both conditions are true. Whereas or, student or senior citizen, then the discount will be given. which means either of the condition requires to be true in case the answer required to be true. Note simply, if a person is logged in, then the output will be not logged in. It just reverses the result of a condition. Here you can see truth table. True, 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 false, false, true, false, false. So when both conditions are true, then only A and B are true. Because one condition is required to be true, so in OR also it gets true. But both are, here we have used not A. When the given thing is true, then not A means not true, and not true is false, then the output is false. Same for below true also is false, and the rest two are false, then not false is true. Now true, false, both conditions are not true, that's why A and B is false. But for OR only one condition requires to be true, so it is true both in the second and third condition. But for the all three conditions rather than first, A and B is false because both are not true. And that's how logical you have to think to make it work. So now the main part, if condition. These are conditional statements. If it is raining, carry an umbrella. Start, condition is true, execute codes, and the code ends. This is the procedure it follows. Execute only when the condition is true. If false, the block is skipped. Simply in if statement. Think of if statement as asking a yes/no question before taking an action. So here in the if else statement, if condition is true, then the true block works, otherwise the else block works. Example, pass or fail. Int marks is equal to 45. If marks is greater than 40, then pass, else fail. So let's try this out in our VS Code also. In VS Code also. So let me write hashtag include IOString int main return 0. Let me say int marks is equal to 70. So if marks is greater than equal to 40, print as pass, or else print as fail. So see out fail. So when I run this code, it gives the output pass. So let's say when I write int marks is equal to 20, then what will be the output? When I run the code, it gives the output fail. As simple as that. So programs don't guess, they evaluate conditions and follow the correct path. Next, the if-else ladder. Here you can see this code for the grade. The same code we will do in further episode. So understand it like if, else if, else if, else. Here in this code, if marks are 82, if marks are greater than 90, then this part is executed. If it is not greater than 90, but it is greater than 75, then this part is executed, and same way it follows ahead. So order matters. Place the most specific conditions before the most general ones. Okay, that's the way you use if else. The simplest thing is the first true condition executes from all of them. So it is used when there are multiple possible outcomes and conditions are checked from top to bottom. That's the valid thing to remember. And all the rest are skipped. Another way you can do the same things is the switch statement, in which switch you write the expression and you write the case as value and default below that. So in the switch statement, case statement, the flow diagram is expression is there, switch is used, and all the cases are used. Default is the default one in which the code is executed always when nothing matters rest. Default will be always executed. It is cleaner than writing many else if statements. Use switch when you are comparing a single variable against fixed values. A good example of it is calculator menu using switch, in which case 1 is addition, but the int choice is 2, so case 1 gets rejected. Then it goes below case 2 here matches the choice and the output is subtraction. Simply subtraction is selected. That's how it works. The matching case executes and break exits the switch case. So it is very important to use break in every condition. If you don't use it, then I will explain you later also, but it will count all the cases below it. Then switch makes menu driven program simple and easy to read. So switch versus if else, both are useful, both are dependent, and they are used for their own work already. If else support ranges, supports complex logical conditions. It uses and, or, not, and it is more flexible. And it can become lengthy, that's a thing too, a little bit of problem for it. Whereas switch is cleaner for menus. It is very easy to read and faster to understand. Works only with fixed values. That is a little bit downside of it. So these are all the features and how if else and switch works for that. Range checking if else does, but switch can't do that. Logical operator work if else does, but switch can't. Exact value comparison, both do that. Readability for if else is medium, but for switch is very high. For menus, switch is always the best. Choose the control space statement based on the problem, not personal preference. You should see the problem and choose that. So common beginner mistake, assignment versus comparison. Here if age is equal to 18 means age is 18, but age double is equal to 18 is to check that age is compared. So here missing curly braces. If you miss curly braces in the if statement, then it is incorrect, it will be invalid and forms an error. For switch case, if you forget using break, then it works not good. So always use break inside each case. Wrong order in else if. If else if is used, but what if inside the statement if marks is greater than 48 and else if says marks is greater than 98. So the marks 99 is carried in if statement only. It doesn't goes in else if. So you have to think the critically way. So that's why the order matters the most. So it should be above 98. So 99 first is carried in if statement. So that one executes. And forgetting default. Default is one which is used when all of the cases don't work. Default is main, it should be used. Pro tips: use double equal to for comparison. Always indent your code properly. Use braces even for single statement. Don't forget break in switch and test every possible condition while debugging. And one thing you should remember, every programmer makes these mistakes once. The difference is that good programmers learn from them and write clean code every time. A mini project voting eligibility checker. Here it is. You should try it in your VS Code also. You should learn from it. Experiment yourself. Change age and predict the output for all of these three ages. Good programmers don't just run code, they predict the output before executing it. You should think and critically think that what should be the output and try to take the border cases also. Mini project 2, menu driven calculator. Here is the code for it. If you don't get to do it yourself, you can check from this. The PPT will be in the pinned comment and description also. Do try to check it out, but try it yourself also by using all these values. The best way to master programming is by experimenting with the code yourself. Episode 2. You have done everything: variable, data type, identifier, keywords, comments, constant, scope, conditional statement. And now you are very ahead in your learning journey. Learning programming is not about memorizing syntax, it's about learning how to think logically and solve problems step by step. ShivCore Challenge 10. The 10 questions you will be given. For each question you will given be 5 seconds to think. First question: which data type is used to store whole numbers? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is int. Question 2. Which data type stores only true or false? Boolean. Which of the following is a derived data type? Array. Which keyword is used to define a constant variable? And the answer is const. Question 5. Which statement correctly declares an integer variable? And the answer is option A. Which statement is true about local variables? And the answer is they exist only inside the block where they are declared. Question 7. Which statement is used for multiple fixed choices? And the answer is switch. Final round. Question 8. Which operator is used to compare two values? And the answer is option number B, double equal to. Question 9. Which conditional statement is best for checking multiple fixed values? And the answer is C. And question 10. An identifier is the variable name. That's it. Don't try to cheat. Do check. If you are below 7, you have to rewatch the lesson and try the quiz again. If you are 7 to 8, then great work. Review a few concepts and continue. And you have achieved 9 to 10 correct answers. outstanding. You are ready for the next episode and you are going to kill it, and you will understand a lot in the further chapters. And I want to explain, if you have any marks, doesn't matter. Don't chase scores, chase understanding, and the score will improve naturally. So that's all for the today's episode. Before you move on, build this habit. Read the code, predict the output, run the program, observe the result, modify one thing and run again. And repeat it. Every great programmer learns by experimenting, not by memorizing. Practice and practice more. The more you practice, the more you enhance. A homework for you all. These are all the questions you have to do, and I will explain them in the upcoming episode. Coming next, episode 3, input, operator and expression, very important for you. So and for all the resources, you can check the pinned comment and description. Every expert programmer was once a beginner who refused to give up. Keep learning, keep building. Welcome to ShivCore. As we say, master the core, build the future. So keep learning, keep building. Thank you.